January was a month full of relays, new discoveries, and of course, plenty of new world records. We're going to cover all of that and more in this month's LEGO Speedrunning Recap.
During the first weekend of 2024, a few LEGO runners met up in real life at my home, and a number of world record runs were set in person. Most notably, we completed a new world record for the Grunt Relay of 18 hours, 1 minute, and 45 seconds, smashing the old world record by over 50 minutes. The relay team consisted of me on Indiana Jones 1 and Harry Potter years 5 through 7, Zach covering the Complete Saga, Senor on Batman 1, T-Fresh taking Star Wars 2 and Harry Potter years 1 through 4, Chess running LEGO Star Wars 3 and Pirates of the Caribbean, and Speedrunning providing online assistance by taking LEGO Star Wars 1 and Indiana Jones 2. This weekend also saw some in-person co-op records, including a 12-minute LEGO Star Wars 2 any% record of 1:38:37 by Zach and T-Fresh, new records in both any% and prequels in the Complete Saga by Senor and Zach, cutting the former down by 4.5 minutes to a 2:26:04, and the latter by a bit over a minute to a 1:01:41, and a new LEGO Movie 2 any% co-op record by T-Fresh and myself that lowered the record by almost 50 seconds to a 39:52, the first sub-40-minute run of the game. Outside of that weekend's TCS activity, it was still a very busy month for the game. Roadhouse set a new free play record early in the month on January 5th by 10 seconds, lowering the time to a 1:04:49. On the 20th, Speedrunning completed an updated all-story collectibles run in 4 hours, 24 minutes, and 28 seconds, marking the first time someone attempted this challenge in many years, and with many more minikits collected than the last time it was attempted. On the same day, Zach set the first TCS any% world record in 5 months, lowering the time by 14 seconds to a 2:21:57 and the first minute barrier broken since the category changed its timing method to loadless last spring. 2 days later on the 22nd, Roadhouse set another free play world record, shaving another 4 seconds off for a 1:04:45. Then, a bunch of new records and personal bests all happened in the last 2 days of the month. First, on January 30th, Zach set another any% world record, cutting 13 more seconds off of his time for a 2:21:44. Then, in the early morning hours of January 31st, Roadhouse set another free play world record, lowering the time by 9 seconds to a 1:04:36. Later that day, Senor jumped up the any% leaderboards, beating his personal best by a bit over a minute for a 2:24 flat and 5th place on the boards. Not to be outdone, It's Jared97 also beat his time in the category later that day by a little under a minute, jumping Senor's new time with a 2:23:35, also getting 5th place. Finally, in the late hours of the night, Roadhouse set his 4th free play record of the month, taking another 10 seconds off his time for a 1:04:26. On the same day all of this was happening, I also set a new LEGO Indiana Jones 1 any% world record, a 1:13:01 that cut my time down by 5 seconds. Although it was not used in this record, Speedrunning also discovered a way of skipping the cutscene of Indiana Jones getting the idol in the first level of the game on January 13th. By utilizing a specific respawn position and movement, it's possible to get out of bounds by lag cancelling a super jump, which allows the entire idol room to be skipped. It's estimated that this skip can save around 12 seconds in its current form, but right now it's a bit too inconsistent for full game runs.
A lot went down in LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens this month. On the 13th of January, I discovered the skip for the first room of the Resistance in freeplay by setting a respawn point in a tight corner with a low ceiling, then flying to a spot that doesn't set your respawn, switching to a big thick character, then killing them with player 2, the big character will respawn partially in the ceiling, allowing you to walk out of bounds and then fly to the end trigger. This skip saves 3 minutes in freeplay, and was for the longest time the last big section without a skip in that category. A couple hours later, I also discovered an improved way of getting out of bounds in the first room of the Aravana. Instead of spamming switching and jumping and praying you clip through the ceiling, which was the old method, it turns out if you just kill player 1 with player 2 while on the ceiling, they will respawn a little bit higher, allowing you to go out of bounds. The next day on the 14th, Nicefighter found 2 spots to go out of bounds in the bonus level Trouble Over Toll in freeplay, with the second one being very helpful for categories like all minikits and 100%, allowing you to skip a lot of camera pans and a cover shooter. On the 19th, I found a way to skip a Cycling the Emperor boss fight in the first level by forcing the second arm during the camera pan. Unfortunately, as of writing this trick is still considered to be RNG, unless you have the Fast Force extra, which means for now it is only really viable in New Game Plus categories. Now let's get to the new world records. On the 27th, I beat the replay story world record by 10 minutes, gaining a time of 57 minutes and 47 seconds, achieving the first sub 1 hour of the category. On the next day I also beat the free play world record by 7 minutes, with a time of 40 minutes and 56 seconds, not that far off of sub 40. And then finally on the 31st, I beat the any percent no-cut world record by over 5 minutes, gaining a time of 1 hour, 9 minutes and 32 seconds, and the first sub 110. The reason for the very big world record improvement is the Kylo skip in the finale that was found last month, as well as some other much smaller optimizations.
LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 through 4 saw the return of former world record holder T-Fresh to the game for this month, aiming to take the any percent standard world record back from Charzite. After a couple of any percent PBs, T-Fresh managed to improve to a 2:22.54 on January 17th and retake 4th place on the boards. However, he did not manage to make it all the way and take the record this month. That being said, T-Fresh's blisteringly quick early games allowed him to take both the Year 1 and Year 2 individual year world records while doing attempts. This was also aided by a new version of the cutscene skip done at the end of 1-4. Instead of a frame-perfect pause on the frame the cutscene starts, it was found that leaving the room as the cutscene starts by placing a pet down, then re-entering, allows the cutscene to be skipped in a similar way to no cut. This saves 10 seconds to the old strategy by getting a better overworld spawn, as well as being on average less time consuming to perform.
In LJ2, Middlestring continued his 100% grind from the previous month with a 2:48.04 no-cut on the second day of the month. That's cutting last month's record by 4 minutes. The same day, preparing for Grunt %, Gymnastic got a second place PB in any percent standard with a 1:09.11. On January 16th, Middlestring cuts the any percent record by 26 seconds with a final time of 41:24. A couple days later, he gets 2 records in one day, 41:10, then 40:53, where it remains today. On the 22nd, Middlestring brings down the any percent standard record to a 1:05.20. Then, 3 days later, to a 1:05.05, a total shave of 40 seconds to the category. The optimization is getting tighter for this game. Maybe he can squeeze out a sub 1:05 next month. We'll have to see.
The LEGO Movie 1 saw some activity for the first time in a little while, with the discovery of some new tech found by Zero the Hero. Similar to LB3 in The Hobbit, by punching while sliding down a sloped surface and spam pausing, you will cause a boost that sends you flying horizontally. This allows for many fairly large skips to be found, and already there have been 4 uses of this trick. A skip for Floor 2 in Escape from Bricksburg, a skip in Welcome to Cloud Cuckoo Land to get to the final island earlier, a skip for the instruction segment in Put the Thing on the Thing, and a skip in Flatbush Rooftops at the last drill, allowing you to skip to the next room. The first 3 were found by Zero, and the last were found by Chio. We are hoping to see many more skips being found, and the any percent time to be pushed even lower, as already there have been multiple minutes saved with this tech.
Throughout most of January, LEGO Star Wars 1 for GBA saw some new action in the All Death Star Plans category. Death Star Plans are like mini-kits in this game, and there are 5 in each level. A route for this category was developed by Skucker, who found ways for every level to be completed in just 1 visit. My first time set in this category was a 1:21.47, almost 4.5 hours faster than the only submitted time on the board. This run was of course far from perfect, and in January I would set 5 more PBs ending with a 1:02.45. Health management makes this category extremely tricky, and my sum of best narrowly made it under 1 hour before the end of the month, showing that there is a lot of time to improve. I believe a sub-hour run would be possible eventually, but I would like to see a 1:01 before playing all episodes again for ESA. LEGO Battles also saw a few significant records in January. Vicino DDA tells me that a new world record for Act 3 No Red Bricks was set by Polanski with a time of 19 minutes 25 seconds. It was the first submitted run, but is still faster than the story world record, which was around 21 minutes. The Imperial story got its first run by Polanski with a time of 1 hour, 19 minutes and 21 seconds. This shows how hard and unforgiving the story is compared to the sum of IL world records. Polanski also made another PB, setting a time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 48 seconds, which is still a long way away from the community's desired sub 1 hour RTA.
On January 8th, I beat the long-standing 5-year-old Bionicle Heroes Any% GameCube and PS2 Division world record. Achieving a time of 3 hours, 25 minutes, and 14 seconds, I was able to barely edge it out due to applying modern knowledge on piece grinding and a route optimization created after the former record submission. The run saved roughly 37 seconds compared to the former. In Masks of Power Legacy, Sir Exelon started out 2024 with a bang by achieving a sub-30 world record in the no mask duping category on January 1st with a time of 29:28. They later went on to refine their time on the 9th as well as the 27th, shaving off 2 minutes and 52 seconds between the two runs. Their final PB was a 26:36.
In Bionicle the Game, Any% No Tahu Skip category, Rin lowered the world record down to a 39:04 on January 2nd, while I lowered my time to a 39:21 the following week. A few days after that, Milkblade also set a time of 39:04, but was roughly 1/10 of a second slower than Rin's time, just barely missing out on the world record. On January 17th, Rin broke through into sub-39 territory, setting a time of 38 minutes and 53 seconds. Meanwhile, in the Any% category with Tahu Skip, I beat my 3-year-old former world record time by over 3 minutes, ending the month with a 37:31 PB, while Milkblade lowered the world record by 1 second on January 3rd, and then again by over 30 seconds on the 24th, finishing with a time of 37 minutes and 3 seconds. There were no huge discoveries this month, with most time save being down to better execution and better lines, saving a few frames here and there. I did, however, discover a new method of performing the trick known as Freebird that has not been used in any PB runs as of yet. Previously, it was thought that in order to skip the Gecko Bird text box and not skip the load trigger for the rest of the level, you had to land a precise jump on the wooden platform. I discovered that the load trigger can be activated by flying low over the platform, making the trick much easier and roughly 1 second faster. On the 27th, Rin lowered the world record down to 10 minutes and 43 seconds using a new strategy discovered by Memory Tas. This new strategy involves using the inventory glitch to obtain the lava board early, then using that to maneuver around the islands, which is much faster than walking and jumping across them normally.
Besides the numerous events and relays this month, we have some smaller things we need to cover. For starters, on the 4th in LEGO Batman, there was a brand new all-episodes record from Hamster, with a finishing time of 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 43 seconds, over a minute and a half of time saved. Then, 5 days later, Natna achieved a villain free play world record with a 22:35, barely scraping by with a 4-second improvement, but a record nonetheless. LEGO Star Wars 2 got its own non-co-op record from Flaming Laser, with it being done on PC instead of Xbox, making for a 35-minute improvement over the former PC record on the 5th. LEGO Pirates had a replay story record from Chess on the 13th, saving 4.5 minutes from the previous, and finally we got a new LEGO Racers 100% glitchless record by none other than Flakes, finishing with a 105:16. And that is everything that happened this January in LEGO Speedrunning. Don't forget to join the LSR Discord down below to keep up with more current events, and we'll be back in February to cover everything you need to know.